So now that we have half of our cart blocked out the way we like it, it is a good time to save it. Let's first go out onto the desktop. I have a folder here that I've created, and we're going to set our project folder to that. So under File, Project, Set, let's go out onto the desktop, and I'm going to select that folder right there that we just created. And if we go back in here and open that up, you'll see that Maya has created 3 folders and a workspace. We'll be saving our scenes in here, and we'll be adding some additional folders in here for images and source images a little later on. Let's click out of that, come back into Maya, and save scene as. I'm just going to call this Golf Cart version 1, Maya binary. Come into the scenes directory and save that. Okay, now that we've done that, let's get started in the next lesson. We're going to be adding tension lines to create hard edges along here, and as well as adding detail on the hood and bumpers. We can select 3 right now, and you can see what happens to our geometry. It collapses here. So let's go back to 1. We actually have some faces over here that we need to clean up from our extrude before we move any further. So let's make sure everything is removed on the inside of the vehicle here. This is where we're going to mirror over the vehicle when we're done shaping it. So we don't want to have anything on the inside here that will interfere with that and cause problems. So now that that's cleaned up, let's come under Edit Mesh, Insert Edge Loop Tool, and let's very selectively place some edge loops around here. I'm starting with the first one right here on this edge, and then I'm going to put one over here. And the closer you get to the edge, the more crisp that corner is going to be. So if you want a little bit softer corner, place it out here. And we'll put one in the front. I want the front end to be just a little softer, so I'm going to back it off a little bit, not make it too crisp. That also allows me to create a bumper later on, so I can wrap that bumper around using this face right here. I'm going to place one on the bottom of the vehicle, going around the entire base to hold that edge together. I'm going to place one here, as well as right here. This one I'm going to put fairly close to this corner. I want a very crisp corner right here, as well as here. And another one on this side to hold this edge together. And we'll need one here as well on the top edge, the back end. And then the very back end, sort of trunk area here, we'll place another one. And that should do it as far as holding together the main body. Let's select 3, right mouse click, and take a look at that. That looks pretty nice. We have some softness around the wheel well still, so we're going to go ahead and add tension lines around there. However, Insert Edge Loop Tool is not really going to do what we need to do. If we do that, I'll show you what happens if we try to place something around there. It only goes about halfway. We can go ahead and just leave this edge loop right here. That's actually a pretty good spot for one. We'll need that a little later. But let's go ahead and use the Split Polygon tool. And let's come into the side view. It's a little easier to manage. So with the Split Polygon tool, we want to click on the edge, and you can see that vertex right there. So I'm going to click and drag it into place, holding down the left mouse button. Letting go, I'm going to click and drag on this edge until I have it into position. And then I'm going to hit Q to end the process and G to start the process up again. Click and drag, Q to end it, G to start it up again. And we will just continue that around until we hit the bottom edge here. And Q. So we've got half of it done. Let's do the other side now, this other half. G to start it up again, click and drag, making sure that it snaps onto that other one. Merging with it, and Q to end it, G to start it. And here, here, and the last one right there, and enter. Okay, we've created some triangles here that we need to clean up. let's do that by going to Vertex, and I'll zoom in here. I'm going to click the first one and the second one, shift click, and come under Merge Vertices, and that cleans up that triangle right there. The purpose of that is we want to have everything as quads in our geometry. Even when objects are not deforming for animation, it's still a good idea to just go ahead and clean up all the triangles and quad everything in your model. So let's continue on. Let's wrap another edge around here with the split polygon tool. So dragging that into place, Q to end it, G to start it up, and we'll move all the way around here. And the other side, and there. And finishing up right here, and enter. Let's clean up these triangles now and merge those vertices. And let's come back into perspective mode and perspective view. And we need to actually continue our edges, our line, all the way to the other side here. Right now we just have an edge that's ending right here, and we actually need to complete that. So to do that, let's select the Insert Edge Loop, and we'll bring that up to this edge right here. And we're doing that. If we tried to connect it onto here, it would not make that connection. And we'll put another one over here, and come down and do the same back here, and one here. Okay, complete that, and let's go back to the Split Polygon tool and connect all of those. So I'm going to click and drag, and click and drag, and hit enter. G to start that up again. You can also select Y, do the same thing. Q to end it, G to start it up. Let's slide down to the front end here and connect these, Q and G, and enter to complete that. So there, we've completed the edge loops around here. And if we come out here and select 3 on the keyboard, we can now see that we've got a nice clean edge around here. Okay, so I think this sort of completes our half of the vehicle, and at this point we can go ahead and mirror it over. So under Mesh, clear down at the bottom here, Mirror Geometry. Let's go ahead and select that option box, reset, and we are we're going to mirror in negative X. We're going to merge with the original and merge the vertices. So hit mirror. And a lot of times this will happen if you have edges that are too close together, like this front edge right here. The vertices will all sort of merge together right there. And you can go ahead and correct that by selecting on the inputs the polymirror, which was our last thing that we just did. This is our history right here of everything we've done so far, starting with the original cube. And if we come down to merge threshold and select on this and just drop a 0 in there, so 0.01, you can see that that corrected that problem. And that one looks good. There may have been one here in the back that was corrected as well. So that all looks good. Okay, and now let's move forward with shaping the hood of the car. I'm going to come into the top view, go into shaded mode, selecting 5. So this is the hood of the car I'm looking at now, and we're going to select Vertex, and I'm going to come down here and drag a marquee over this group of vertices as well as this one, select R, and I'm going to bring those in. So we're just shaping the hood of the car right now. Actually, let's just click on that and this one, bring that in as well. And you can see it starting to sort of taper in. And I'm actually pretty happy with that. And now that we have that, let's select the faces. All of these faces right here. I'm not bringing it all the way up to the edge. I'm leaving this alone, as well as this last group up here. And now that I have that selected, I'm hitting, we're going to do sort of a two process here to create a hard edge. The first one is extrude, and I'm going to just leave this local manipulator, and I'm going to push it in just a little bit. Let's select 1 on the keyboard so we can get out of the other mode. So that looks good. And now that I've done that, I'm going to extrude again, and I'm going to pull this one up. About like that. If you want it a little bit higher, you can do that. You can also scale it in a little bit if you want to create more of a beveled look, like that. And completing that, going back to object mode. And if we select 3 now, we can see that we have a nice hood here with a clean edge around it. So if we'd like to create some bumpers now, we can select the faces along here. And here, I'm going to select the one here, and I think I'm going to go ahead and grab this little bottom row as well. Like that. And with all of these selected, I'm going to extrude that and bring it out. So that creates kind of an interesting little bumper. Maybe it's a little too wide. And I'm going to do the same in the back. So selecting the faces. And around on this side as well. And extrude, and just pull that out. Okay, complete that, and let's take a look at it. Okay, so we've completed that, and we are now going to move on to creating the bench seat in the next lesson.